you have searched for a residential property to rent in Lagos, Abuja, or any other major city in Nigeria, you will know that the struggle is real, that you are facing an uphill task. Rents are skyrocketing, decent homes are hard to find, and when you finally find one, you're slapped with that outrageous agency fee, legal fee, inspection fee, and sometimes even caution fees that no one seems to account for. Meanwhile, thousands of newly built houses sit empty because they're priced far beyond what the average Nigerian can afford. So there are houses, there are no takers because the prices are too high.
I saw one nearby, not too far away from me, 25 million naira per annum.
Who can afford to rent a place for 25 million naira when you're not asking to go and live in Ikoyi or VI?
Even if you are going to live in Ikoyi or VI, how much are you making? 25 million naira per annum.
Well, you'll be making pots of money. Let's put it that way. Well, to look at this dilemma with us this morning, I'd like to welcome Ezekiel Nay-Etok, Executive Director, Estate Services at the Federal Housing Authority. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Same here.
So, Ezekiel, I would say that your job is an uphill one, providing housing for Nigerians, because we are all aware of the cost of construction material. So the house that you're talking about, now, the one that's 25 million, I'm sure that if you actually go and cost what it took to build that house, you will actually find that 25 million naira is not outlandish to demand for that kind of property. Yeah. So the ones that the federal government is building that you are in charge of.
Involved in.
Okay. That you are involved in. Okay.
In other words, you're not the contractor. I understand that.
Yes. First of all, how is that task going?
Okay.
How easy has it been to build houses? And how easy is it to offload those houses?
Okay. First, thanks for having me. Second, I have to try very hard not to talk as an advocate, which I've done for over 30 years. I've always been sitting here as an advocate. Government should, government must, they have to.
Now you are in government.
I am
in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I just discovered that the man in the mirror is myself. So I'm like, how am I going to do this? First, it's very, very almost expected of public servants or political office holders to come here and the first statement they are making is, oh, we are doing this, we've done that. And, as soon as you do that, there's a direct disconnect between you and the people.
It is now you and us.
Yeah, because you need to have an idea of the pains that people are going through. And that since this government came in place so far, there's little change, quote me, and I'm going to talk as a nationalist. There's little change, but we have failed to communicate with the people why, as at this time, it should be that little change that is seen. And then the game plan, I'm an architect. I want to build like an 18-story building. My neighbor wants to build a bungalow. Now, within 6 months, the bungalow is completed.
Yeah.
But mine, in 6 months, I'm still piling. Now, the average man on the street says, this guy is not serious. Unless you call him and explain to him that I want, that this bungalow cannot take everybody. I want to take an 18-story building to take more people. So it's going to take these timelines. You manage the expectation of the people. And that is where I have a very serious problem, even as an insider with the current government. We are not communicating with the people in a way that the people can relate to what we are saying. I laid that as a foundation to say what I want to say. Now, if you want to do an estate like we are doing in Federal Housing Authority, the first thing is that you must have land. People believe that, oh, there's land all over. No, we didn't have land. So we used almost 6-7 months going through about 28 states as of today to get the land, not from the comfort of our MD's office, but going to every state, one by one, sitting down, and when the governor gives us land, we go to that land to see it. So that we don't build in evil forest. And that has taken so much time, and people are like, where are the houses? Where are the houses? So if Nigerians get to know that we have been able to get good locations that they will be happy to live in. After that, we now go the process of getting the people that will build the houses, which we call procurement. We started the process almost 6 months ago. You cannot proceed without getting the clearance from every single stage. So if Nigerians know that we went looking for land, and they understand that we have now gone through the procurement process, we advertised, people bidded, we did the analysis of the bids, and we're now at the award stage, on the basis of which we will now be able to go to site, having fulfilled the conditions. They will be patient and they are carried along on a rate, which is why my administration would encourage me to come here and talk about it and tell the people so we can manage the expectation. Now, for the first time in the history of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we are rolling out in 17 states at the same time. At the same time, 17 out of 36, 37. Now, after doing that, I am the chairman of the groundbreaking committee. You can't even set up that unless you are ready to break the ground. So now we're in a position where we have the ground, we've done all the designs, we've gone through the procurement processes, we can now do award, at the end of which we'll now be able to go and start building. The next
But
stage,
all these take time.
yeah, and it's like you have to go to primary school, secondary school, before university. I haven't seen any parent that said, but you see, we need to, even the things we say that are facts, we need to communicate it in a way that Nigerians appreciate that we feel for them. Do you understand me?
Perhaps, my apologies, perhaps
Yes,
one of the challenges is that people have to, the houses that you're talking about, for instance,
Yes.
It's not something that's going to be ready tomorrow.
Yes.
It's not going to be ready next month.
Yes.
Not even sure whether they will be able to, they can plan and say, okay, I'll wait until next year. So for now, what we have is what we have.
Yes.
I don't know, and I don't know if you can speak to that, but
Yes.
recently, Lagos State government has been talking about this challenge of people paying per annum, and that they want to enforce monthly payment as opposed to annual payment of the rent. Is this something you can speak to? Do you see it happening?
I can speak to that, but again, one of the challenges that we have is that the military mentality has not left us. Military mentality is here and now, immediate, and it doesn't work. There's got to be proper planning and foundation laying and processes, which if we had done 20 years ago, we would be building. And if we had done 10 years ago, we'll be building. And somebody has to come and say, look, I don't care what this cost me. Let's start now. Do you get the point? Now, a man went to the bank, borrowed money. He went to land seller, bought the land. He started to build. He finishes building. The bank loan is on his neck. he wants to pay back. You come in and legislate and say, start collecting weekly, start collecting monthly. Now, that's not sustainable. I've been a developer. And you see, if I come here and talk as a politician, even God will not, he might, but I will not forgive myself. So I want to be able to talk in a way that a reasonable Nigerian will say, okay, that makes sense. I will not, as a consultant, advise any government to legislate over what they did not instigate. It's wrong. But the Lagos state government can say, as at today, now we are going to have a new scheme where, I got something very, very, very instructive when I got into FHA. The federal government does not sell land. FHA, we don't sell land, we allocate land. The same thing as, I'll tell you the difference.
Please.
In Gwarimpa today, a plot of land of about 1,000 square meters, FHA will not allocate for more than 10 million naira. Will not. I say that because it's under my directorate, it's under my office. But that same plot of land in Gwarimpa, you cannot buy for less than 150 million naira.
Ouch.
And these are the sort of things that the public needs to take up and speak to. Do you understand me? We don't sell land, we allocate land. So how do we make sure that we run a policy where every government land is allocated strictly to the person who wants to build and not to a speculator who wants to resell? So this scam that we blame government for are the things that we are doing as citizens of this country. So coming back to where we are, Lagos state government should say, all registered, developers, we will allocate land to you. What you've done is you've reduced your delivery cost from 150 million to 10 million.
Yep.
Imagine what difference that will make. Number two, on all allocated lands that you want to develop, we are going to partner with you by way of giving you certain sweeteners, tax reliefs, and things like that, so that at the end of the day, this building that you have brought up for 25 million ordinarily, that 5 million land, we gave it to you, so remove it. This other thing, we remove it. So at the end of the days of 25 million, you can legislate for that house not to go for more than 18 million. And then you can say part of that scheme must be rental. And for all rental schemes within this that I've been able to help you to get, you cannot take more than 1 month rental on a daily basis. You can legislate that because you were the one that made it to be that way.
But then we also hear, my apologies, sir, you will also hear that all land is vested in the governor of a state.
Yes.
And that even the so-called family land is vested in the governor of a state.
Yes.
If that is correct, what stops the government from doing whatever they want to do?
I'll tell you what it is. You see, government toes what they call line of least resistance. Number one. Number two, I didn't want to get into this conversation so that we don't get derailed. You, a sane man, you give yam to a goat. You turn around and get surprised that goat is eating raw yam, which you have not cooked. For goodness sake, is a problem with the goat or with you? Why am I saying so? Each political season, we forget. It's like we throw away our thinking and put people there. People will get into the seat. And then you now start to wonder, why are you not doing this? The man that you paid or that paid you to collect your vote is going to serve you? No. The man that paid you to say, somebody comes to your house and say your clothes are dirty, let me pay you to wash your clothes. Something should tell you that this guy is looking for something. I should be the one paying you and not you paying me to serve me. But let's come back. That's why I say I don't want us to be distracted. I'll just give you a little example. As at today, there's a buzzword I've started hearing amongst politicians. And that buzzword is 2037 is going to be between APC and the people. Politicians. My sister, I just want you to think about this. Politicians are telling you that 2027 is going to be between APC and the people. No. 2027 is going to be between the people and the politicians. Those in power and those seeking power. Don't come and join us. So that APC tell me what you are doing, and you opposition, don't join me. Tell me what you want to do, why I should come to you. Don't come to me.
Okay. Ezekiel, one of the major problems of acquiring your own property in this country is the issue of money.
Yeah.
In other climes, people graduate, and as soon as they get jobs, they can get mortgages and buy. So they start off life living in their own property, even though they're going to pay for it for the next 30 years. But at least they have access to the money to purchase a roof over their heads. That doesn't exist here.
I'll tell you.
Even those who are able to rent property, they can't even afford the rent. It is their parents who are still helping them. So these properties that you all are building, how do you intend to sell them? And to whom do you intend to sell them?
You see, when I was given this appointment, a lot of people were like, oh, thank God somebody who is informed is getting in. And the good thing was that the president, giving him all the credit, brought a group of professionals into the different two main. Let's take one housing, Ministry of Housing. Let's be very focused. The head of that ministry is architect Dangiwa. He's an architect, he's a practitioner, he was a former MD of Federal Mortgage Bank, so he's informed. He came into two other aspects, the Federal Housing Authority and the Federal Mortgage Bank. Check out the teams of the two sets. I belong to the Federal Housing Authority. All of us are professionals and not these political appointees where people like, how do we share? That is why, probably why, as at today, after spending more than 1 year, all five of us, including my MD, are still driving the old Hiluxes that we met. Nobody's doing all this Prado and blah, blah. Not as if I'm criticizing, but we say, look, the president has given us a job to do. And I challenge anybody to go to Federal Housing Authority by 9 p.m. any day. Unless he's not in town, you'll see my MD still there in office. For the past 1 year, between 8 and 8:30 a.m., I am in the office. All of us are in the office. We are working. Doing what? Laying certain foundations. And what are the foundations we have laid, which has come to this? Number one is that you can't talk of owning a home without having a mortgage system that is sustainable. We have not had one. But the current government has revamped the Federal Mortgage Bank. They are giving it certain capacities to be able to get funds, because without them having money, they cannot give to primary mortgage institutions. So we are now going to take everything from first principle. It's not just share at the top, let people be happy, oh, the president is working. He says, guys, go and lay solid foundations. He set up Murphy. As at today, he had given the Murphy, 150 billion.
What's Murphy?
Ministry of Finance Incorporated is like the funds they've been able to gather for housing.
Okay.
There's there's a housing part of MREF of that Murphy. Do you understand me? That's for housing. Okay. They've raised 250 billion as we speak. 150 billion from the federal government, and then the other 100 from the private sector. Apart from that, they have also been able to set up family homes funds, you have the family homes funds, you have the Federal Mortgage Bank, you have the MREF, and then you have the there's the third one, which the last one that I remember. These are funding institutions for housing.
Okay.
So with
Who
these,
qualifies to have access to those funds?
first, you must of necessity be a subscriber to the National Housing Fund for you to qualify for that of Federal Mortgage Bank, which is single digit.
How does anybody become a subscriber?
Almost every worker, unknown to you, you in channels are subscribers to it. You've got to know, because they collect that 2.5% from your salary, every worker. So you are all entitled to it.
So all members of NLC,
all members
of
NLC,
TUC,
all members,
they can access this money.
They can access. That is, the marketing of this stuff is under my directorate as well. So we are, and we have the FHA Mortgage Bank, where I'm also a director in the bank, so I can talk authoritatively. You can, as a Nigerian who does not want to subscribe to the fund, you can go to FHA Mortgage Bank and then look at their terms, which is going to be commercial term. But if you are a subscriber to the National Housing Fund, you will get it at 2.5 deduction from you, and then that loan will be on single digit. But you see, because time is really running, two things that Mr. President did, which is very, very foundational and Nigerians must know. First, he says, I want to achieve two things. Number one is I want to have a building materials manufacturing hub in each of the 6 geopolitical zones, so that we can manufacture this building component at home in an integrated hub.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you that the Honorable Minister has set that up already. It's already in ICRC to get the final clearance. All people have subscribed to it. So in each of the 6 geopolitical zones, Mr. President has set that up and is going to give every single support for that to work. Number two, Mr. President says these houses that we are talking about, there are 3 housing segmentations. The luxury homes for the rich men, you can't stop them. What you call affordable housing, which is like the middle class. And finally, social housing. Social housing is for the poor and the, not so poor. If you earn less than 4 times the minimum wage, you're entitled to social housing. And social housing is subsidized housing. So as a result, there is a fund that Mr. President is setting up. He gave the minister those 2 mandates. The minister has already set up those templates. And in the next few weeks or so, that fund will be launched. And Mr. President is making sure. Now, I want to put on an advocate's cap at this point, because this shouldn't be coming from me as an insider, but let me play the nationalist. That fund is the one that makes sure that the poor man can get a house for next to free, highly subsidized. Now, there is a story in the papers that the houses were confiscated or seized by Mr. Emefiele, right? The poor cannot live on those houses. No, this is very important. The poor cannot live on those houses. They can't afford. It's like somebody giving you a Lamborghini. Giving me a Lamborghini. That would be a problem to me.
Yeah.
But when you give it to me, I can carry it, sell it, and then buy the one that I can afford. Let the public, the social housing advocacy group, prevail on the National Assembly and the presidency. Sorry, Mr. President, I hope you don't mind. To channel all proceeds of funds relating to properties to that fund that Mr. President has said should be set up. And that benefits the poor primarily. I know that our Honorary Minister is so inclined. I know that my MD has been asking, how can I get funds for social housing? And social housing happens to be under my directorate. And every day he splits his hairs on how we can raise funds to make sure that we cross-subsidize for the poor to be able to own houses.
We can't wait. So, that's just the thing.
Yes, yes. So you out there, renewed hope cities and estates are springing up all over the country. Gear yourself up so that when it becomes open, you are able to apply for a loan, or a mortgage rather, to purchase one of those houses. Thank you very much, Mr. Ezekiel Nay-Etok.
It's been a pleasure.
For coming to tell us all about this, and we wish you all the best. And you said you have done the soil turning or whatever.
We're about in the process.
Good. So once the houses or the cities and the estates are ready, do let us know.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. When we come back, we'll be talking something else that will be of great interest to you. Stay with us.